Hello, welcome to Sunday. It is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. It is the Expendable Show, and I'm your host, the Expendable. So I want to go through and go through the Mother's Day stuff real quick because it is a special day. These moms, they're the real warriors of this world that make things go around, and I think every day should be Mother's Day for real. But let's just highlight them a little bit more, give them a little bit more love today. Let them get their mani pedis and go out and have their lunches and brunches and mimosas and whatever it is that moms want to do today. So happy Mother's Day. We all appreciate you. So I wanted to, kind of honor my own mother, Joni. She passed away in '07, but she's never forgotten. And I always, give her a few extra, thoughts and prayers on this day as, she really liked, Mother's Day. She loved her flowers. So anytime we got her some flowers, that made her happy. Um, I also want to recognize my stepmom, Jane. She's fantastic. It's so much fun when I go home back to Ohio and I get to, visit with her and, see all the things that, the quilts and stuff that she's an amazing quilt maker. So I always enjoy seeing what she's working on when we go back. I also want to give a special shout out to my mother-in-law, Gina. I highly appreciate you, everything that you've done. Um, yeah, you're a straight shooter, always have been. I love that about you. So happy Mother's Day. I hope all your daughters do something special for you today. And then I want to give like my extended mothers, a little extra today from growing up. The late Sharon Hyatt, um, her son Rusty was my best friend growing up, or one of the couple of my best friends growing up. And she's passed away. However, I never forget, the laughs and the sarcasm that she used to throw at us all the time. And she's that mom that she always knew where we were at. She always knew what we were doing. She always looked out for us, and I will forever appreciate her. She probably, kept me out of trouble a few times. Um, Also, I want to give a shout out to Pam Redding. So, my other best friend growing up, Josh, he, so we used to play basketball together, and I think it was in like sixth grade. And I spent the night because we were going to go play in a tournament. And so we got up early, and his mom, Pam, was making pancakes for us. Well, for whatever reason, it probably wasn't the pancakes, but I got like sick as a dog. Like I was puking and everything else. I'm sitting on the bench. I can't even hardly get in the game because I'm so sick. So forever, we started calling her pancakes because her, we blamed her pancakes for making me sick for the basketball game. But it probably wasn't her fault. It was probably just I was just sick or whatever. But I want to appreciate her because we had so much fun, uh, you know, growing up with Pam around. She was a hoot, that's for sure. So I appreciate you, Pam. I also want to throw one last one out there to Kay Rossworm. So her son Nate was probably my best friend in high school, and I spent so many nights over at their house, and we partied a lot, and so Kay always made sure that we had a safe place to go, and not that she condoned what we did, but she always made sure we were safe and that she was responsible and made sure our parents were in the loop of we were out drinking or whatever. um, but Kay, is a phenomenal town mom. I think she's a town mom. Everybody loves Kay. So I want to throw an extra Mother's Day out. Happy Mother's Day out to you, Kay. So there's my extended moms, all the moms I want to recognize in my personal life. So make sure that you guys do the same. A lot of us had more than one motherly influence in our life, so make sure you send a little appreciation out to them, even if it's been years since you talked to them. So this week, I'm going to go over some news stories, and I've kind of gotten away from that a little bit, and I want to get back into it. I tend to highlight one major thing and ride with it throughout the week. So I want to uh, start off with some of the news stories for the week, and I've got my new little setup here, so I'm excited to use it for the first time. But I got my extra monitor over here, so I've got my podcast agenda up on my extra monitor, so I keep looking over, making sure I'm getting my talking points correct. Um, so this week, just this weekend, Trump had a huge rally in Wildwood, New Jersey, and when you look at the crowd, it's unbelievable. It looks like a concert festival. If you can't watch the news and look at a Trump rally and say, "Man, this dude has some following," you're on another planet, because they estimated almost 100,000 people at this rally. And when you look at the screen, when the news scans the crowd, it looks every bit of 100,000 people. There are people everywhere. They are just packed, like all throughout. It's basically on the Jersey Shore. So the whole Jersey Shore is packed full of Trump supporters. Trump got up there. I think he spoke for like 90 minutes. The guy doesn't miss a beat. He's good to go. He's sharp. He's ready. He gave a little, Trump's going through these, trying to pick his vice president candidate. And there's several people in the mix there. However, he gave a big kind of like a highlight to North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, who was running for president at one point and then backed out early on, as he wasn't really getting a lot of support from any of the conservative side. But I've listened to him talk a few times. He's on point. He's a Trump supporter. He likes Trump. He's going to be a solid vice president. I don't know if that's who Donald Trump is going to pick. I feel like he's throwing Doug's name out there to see what the support level is going to be for him. Even though we do know that the vice president really doesn't pick who gets to be president. They're just kind of along for the ride during the campaign, and they don't really come into effect until they've become vice president. So they're just a bystander right now, figurehead, somebody, a new name to put on the yard sign. So me personally, if I was Donald Trump, I'm picking Aaron Donald. I love Aaron Donald. My dad loves Aaron Donald. This guy says everything right. He doesn't let too much get to him. His standards for what the conservative compass is, he's right on point all the time on all the issues. He very rarely misspeaks or is misquoted. The guy is on. He knows his stuff. He does his research. You can tell he just gets it. He's on board. So that's my guy. I was a Kristi Noem fan. I'm still a Kristi Noem fan. I think this whole dog thing is stupid. If you've grown up and have lived on a farm, there's a time. Go watch Old Yeller. Sometimes you got to put the dog down. It's what happens. Sorry, Yeti's right beside me, and she's looking at me like, "You gonna put me down?" No, I'm not gonna put you down, Yeti. But if you get sick and start acting crazy, I'm gonna have to put you down. So she's still looking at me. She's licking her lips. I think she's gonna try to bite me. But I think they've blown that whole thing out of proportion. Kristi Noem's a solid governor. She's a solid politician. She's a solid conservative. I think she's going to be a contender, a big time contender in 2028. Once this whole stupid dog conspiracy blows over. So I don't really give a shit about the dog. Uh, it's just a comment. Like, come on, people. If she killed the dog, who cares? That's what they do. Things out west are a little bit different. Things out on the frontiers a little bit different. Obviously you're not going to stand in the middle of Atlanta and shoot a dog. You're probably going to jail. So some of the other candidates like Tim Scott, I'm okay with Tim Scott. I like his faith. The guy's big on faith. I'm big on faith. So I like Tim Scott. I think he's a godly man, and I like him. Do I agree with everything that his platform is? Not everything. I think he goes a little too far on some things. But overall, I think Tim Scott's a solid vice presidential candidate. So I think Donald Trump has a good pool. I think DeSantis is even back in there. I think a DeSantis gnome ticket in 2028 is a winner. I think DeSantis needs to finish Florida. And a lot of my Florida friends and a lot of the Florida people that are on my X page, they are not ready to give up DeSantis yet. So finish the job in Florida, make Florida solid. And, 2028 is your year, DeSantis. I will back you in 2028. I like what you've done in Florida. So when you look at a Trump, we go back to the Trump thing. You go look at the 100,000 people at a Trump rally. What does Biden do? He has a counter campaign out in California it's a private event with a small group of people with just the wealthy elites. Biden's missing the point. He's missing the point. It's costing him. I honestly think when the DNC, something is going to happen. They're going to get him diagnosed and they're going to make him back out at the DNC. And I think they've already got this thing all planned out. The next candidate, Gavin Newsom, most likely is going to be ready to step right in there and finish. They don't want to give the GOP and the conservatives too much time to really get their ammunition put together for Gavin Newsom. He is a failed California governor. The guy has done nothing positive. Their education system in California is a disaster. It's one of the worst in the world. I think a high percentage. I'd have to go look at all the statistics. I looked at one point, but they're way below bar on every major academic standard that these kids are getting tested. They're probably Chicago's right there with them. So you see what these liberal cities do, and they wonder why they're not getting the progress and the high standard of students that are coming out of these cities, because liberalism is a disaster. So when you look at these, compare, the 100,000 people, and then Biden's going to these elites and catering to the money. Yeah. You need money to run your campaign. Donald Trump needs money to run his campaign, but his base is not the money for the campaign. His base is rallies and getting on the ground with the people of his base. And he does a 100%. If you ever in the future, any politician wants to run a successful campaign, you watch how Donald Trump does it. He connects with his people. That's why you had stuff like January 6th that happened, even though I would bank my paycheck that it was incited by outside influences outside of Trump's, group of people. There are too many feds in the crowd. However, that's why the MAGA nation is so passionate, is because Donald Trump, for one, listens to them. We finally have a politician that comes and says, I'm going to listen to you, and then I'm going to act on your wishes, and I'm going to make it happen. And we watched him in the White House do just that. And no politician in my recent memory, besides maybe Reagan, has come close to doing what Donald Trump has done, um, it's insane. It's insane. The guy was just checking things off his list, and Biden had the same promises. He's going to do this and that and everything else. Yeah, he did some of those things, but his plans failed. They failed. He had a failure plan where Trump's plan was successful just about all the way around for everybody. Republican, Democrat, Independent, lizard people, it didn't matter. He's a guy he was successful in every aspect of his presidency. Even though, if you're a liberal watching my show and you're like, wasn't successful at everything, you know what? Stop watching liberal TV for one, because they're gonna, just because they get on TV and they say Donald Trump was a bad president, it doesn't mean he was a bad president. It's because they hate him that much. Yes, Donald Trump has loose lips, and loose lips sink ships. But as far as his policies, nobody can touch that. His policies were on point, and they were for Americans. Even Democrats made money during Trump's administration. So say what you want. Your pockets were fatter when Donald Trump was president. I know mine were. Stop trying to hate. Stop being haters. It's Mother's Day. Love somebody. In the meantime, you're watching Biden can't, he spoke for 16 minutes at his rally. 16 minutes, that's all he could handle. And he spoke off of teleprompters and cue cards. His poll numbers are plummeting. They know it. I don't see Biden being the presidential candidate. I would almost put my paycheck on it. He's losing his base. He's catering to the extreme. He's losing the Gen Z. He's losing the black vote. He's losing the Hispanic vote. He's basically agitated every group that he depends on. The independents really aren't falling for him either. So he's losing everything that he could possibly gain from. And then he attacks MAGA people. So anybody who was kind of on the fence about Trump, forget it. They're not going to vote for Joe Biden now. It's done and over with. He's a disaster. The riots aren't getting any better. They're not as violent now, but the colleges are at least starting to allow the police on the campuses to break up these encampments, which is a good thing. I don't want my kids going to a school that the college is going to allow these distractions from their education process. I spend big money to send my kid to college. They're going to get their education, get these turds out of the way so my kid can be successful in life. We don't need all that distraction on a college campus. Sorry. Especially at private universities. State universities could probably get away with it a little bit more because it's a state university, but still, regardless, it doesn't matter. We got to get these kids back into class. Get them off the lawn and get them back to class. You're not learning anything, fighting with cops. Plus, you're destroying your criminal history. I want to say bad words. Try not to. Try to say good words. So when we look at Israel, there's been a lot of Israel stuff this week too. So we have this Rafah kind of invasion. I don't want to say invasion is a stupid word. I shouldn't use that. Israel wants to go into Rafah. They've done their due diligence. They did what HW did, HW did for Iraq before he went in there and destroyed it in 100 hours when we defeated Iraq in 100 hours in 1991. Which was a phenomenal operation. So they've gone and they've put flyers all over Rafah and basically said, look, if you don't want to die, get out. It's time. You're almost out of time. Hurry up and get out. If you don't want to die, get out. And I'm all for that. I think they need to go in there and get these Hamas people for several reasons. One, because there's still hostages out there. For two, there are 5 American hostages still out there. Why has Biden not talked about 5 American hostages? He wanted to talk about Brittany Griner all the time in Russia, and Russia wasn't even torturing her. But we don't want to talk about the 5 Americans that Hamas is torturing over in Israel. where are you at on this, Biden? Well, why are you continually catering to the Hamas supporters and pro-Palestinian supporters? And we have five Americans over there. On top of that, 30 Americans were killed during that October 7th situation where Hamas murdered as many people as they could. 30 Americans. They don't deserve their justice? They do deserve their justice. Why have we not joined the battle with Israel? Why are we tiptoeing around? Hamas killed 30 Americans and have 5 held hostage. Not good enough. His response is not good enough. His response to Afghanistan was not good enough. His response to these college protests is not good enough. We're the best country in the world. Act like it. And Joe Biden's not acting like it. He refuses to act like it. He acts like a senior citizen that needs to be in a retirement home. That's just like, I don't know. I'm tired. I don't want to fight these fights anymore. Don't be president. Don't be president. There's tough decisions that need to be made. And playing the fence, playing both sides of the fence, you're doing it on the college campuses. You're doing it over in Israel. You can't play both sides of the fence. It's not going to work. He is preaching the ceasefire, which, if he would have, honored the Abraham Accords, we probably wouldn't be in this situation. If he wasn't a weak leader, we probably wouldn't be in this situation. Because Donald Trump didn't have these problems because everybody feared what he would do if these problems, showed up. Donald Trump would have reacted swiftly and quickly, and it would have been harsh. And he would have stood beside our partner Israel, who's been our lifelong partner of this country. We have to back Israel. Let's get it done. Ceasefire is not a bad idea. I'm all for a ceasefire. I'd rather people not get killed. It's a noble thing to ask for. A lot of countries are asking for a ceasefire. Some of the college kids are asking for a ceasefire. Is Israel going to respect the ceasefire? They want to get their retribution. They had a lot of dead Israelis at that concert venue. Do I think a ceasefire is going to happen? No, I don't think Hamas has any intentions. In order for a ceasefire to happen, they're going to have to release every hostage, and Hamas doesn't seem to have any interest in releasing any hostages at this point. Especially since we just Biden withheld arms. We had this package get passed that they made such a big deal about. Now Biden will not release the arms needed for Israel to finish off Hamas. He's holding it and say, "Well, I don't want anything to do with the Rafah." Then why are you asking taxpayers for money, Joe? Why are you up there preaching the pulpit? Why did you get? Ukraine got their fucking money. They got their weapons. Lockheed Martin got rich. General Dynamics got rich. Why isn't Israel allowed to have that same luxury? Because you ain't really about Israel. It was about Ukraine. All that money was about Ukraine. You knew you were going to lock that money up, no matter if they were going into Rafah or not. You were going to lock that money up. Don't try to play me. Yeah, I've been paying attention. I know a lot of Americans out there are not paying attention. They're just seeing 30-second snippets of news. I'm paying attention. I see what you're doing. Anyway, so I've got a couple special announcements. So I have been selected to be a guest host on a new podcast. I've been jumping in and out of that podcast for a little bit now, but now I'm going to be a regular co-host. It's called The Private Room with Tiffany. We do Mondays live stream, 7:45, 8 o'clock usually. So, check it out. I'm going to start advertising for that on my Facebook page and on my Instagram. So, yeah, so I do have an Instagram now. I'm starting to catch up with the tech world here. I don't understand Instagram, but I have one now. So if you want to add me on Instagram, go right ahead. Eric Lundcool. Weird last name spelling. So so the Expendable show is starting to expand out a little bit. We're getting a lot of hits. I think I've had like 3,000 impressions in like the last 24 hours or something like that. We have ads running on Spotify now. I'm going to be doing some advertising more for my podcast and trying to grow them more. I think I had like 2,000 over 2,500 views on my for my YouTube shorts about with cats and Biden. I just have my cats doing stuff, my little kitties, which is stupid, but that just shows you the cat community is big. Okay, cat community. Maybe I should just be like Taylor Swift. I'm gonna sing songs about getting broke up with, because that's where I'm at in life, and I'm gonna have cats. I mean, Taylor, it's a unisex name. I could just be the Taylor Expendable show. Anyway, watch my YouTube channel. It's fun. I like having it. It's fun. I try to do lots of YouTube shorts. When I think of something really stupid and ridiculous to do, I do it on YouTube. So check out at capital THE Expendable Show on YouTube. And we can have some fun. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's free. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. Just get on there and watch my videos and tell me how stupid I am. So I will be doing the private room with Tiffany on Mondays. It's not political. So if you like listening to me talk, like looking at my beautiful face, but don't like politics, jump over to the private room with Tiffany, and it's more about relationships. It's about kind of like the kinky side of life. She covers a lot of different things, and I jump in there and help bring my perspective to things. There's other co-hosts that are great. I'm starting to really get into that podcast a lot. I enjoy doing it. It allows me to kind of show a different side of myself to the public that most people don't really see. Because usually they know me by the warmongering political guy who talks a lot and don't back down from stuff. So check out that podcast as well. Like, subscribe. Tiffany would be very happy. It's based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Some of the other co-hosts, I think there's somebody from South Carolina, another guy who's got a studio that joined with me on the same day. He's out of Atlanta. I'll start getting his information around, start advertising for him too. We're going to do a live from his studio, I believe, in July. So that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm having a good time with that. I'm meeting some really cool people, seeing some different views of things. So jump in there, check it out, and no politics, I promise. And I will be having a new special guest on Wednesday. Once I get confirmation that she'll be attending, I'm going to try to do it live if I can figure it out. So bear with me on that. If I decide to do it live and I've got a good handle on how to do it live, I will advertise the time on my Facebook and Instagram, so that way everybody knows. But I will announce the special guest tomorrow. So I want everybody to be careful out there. We just had a lot of shootings over the weekend here in Atlanta. Some of them were down on my end. 3 cops got shot. So everybody be careful. Know your surroundings. Stay safe. Know where your kids are at. And have a great Mother's Day. Tell anybody, any woman you see out there today, Happy Mother's Day, because chances are they've got kids, and it's nice to hear. It'll be nice for them to hear that. So I will catch you guys all on Wednesday. Like, subscribe my YouTube page, and have some fun with me. Comment in the comment section, heart it, hate it, I don't care, as long as you get on there and check it out, and let me know how ridiculous I am. All right, everybody have a good Mother's Day. Love y'all. Peace.